Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great day so far. So here we are. It's September favourites. I really had to think about what month it was for a second because who knows at this point. It is officially autumn here and there's definitely some autumnal vibes to this favourites. I will say that. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, I'm going to talk about the fragrance I've been obsessed with. I mean, I'm obsessed with it always, but this month, Initio's Side Effect. It's just the moment when I pick it up. September, when the heating started to go on, it's getting a bit chilly. This warms my cockles like no other. This has the most simple notes in it as far as a fragrance. It's rum, tobacco, vanilla and cinnamon. And if that does not smell like an evening in by the log fire to you, we can't be friends. It's the most stunning, warming scent of life. This packaging, I die. The fact that it comes with its little stand, I further die. But the scent of this is like, it's what I want to smell like forever, for the rest of my life. I just want to smell like this all day, every day. This is what I want when someone smells me. This is what I want to smell like. It's stunning. It's feminine, but sexy. You can smell it all day long, but it's not pungent and in your face. It's like if someone walked past you, they'll get a waft of it. It's just delightful. It's sweet, but never a gourmand way because of that tobacco and because of the rum. It just stays edgy and it's just different without being like weird or being the type of fragrance that you love or hate. I've never had anyone say anything other than, oh my God, what are you wearing, whenever I've had this on. It is the most beautiful, unique, just get right up in my neck fragrance of all time. And it's just so perfect for this time of year for me because it really, like, you put this on and you feel warmer, you feel cozy. It's that type of scent. It's just divine. So next up in the non-makeup related category, these products from Nursem. Now, if you haven't heard of Nursem, they are an incredible brand who have this amazing promise that for every product purchased from them, a nurse or a midwife somewhere in the UK working for the NHS will receive a month's supply of their products. I mean, it's win-win. They've also really kindly given me a discount code. This isn't sponsored, but these were gifted to me. This product is a hand cream, and this was developed with nurses to help combat the effects of relentless hand washing, which obviously at the moment we're all kind of experiencing that. And, you know, the non-stop sanitizing gel on our hands is really drying and we're all suffering. This hand cream, I mean, it smells amazing, but it's so rich and it literally has saved my hands. I'm just constantly hand washing, sanitizing gel. You can really understand why nurses' hands must be brutalized at the moment. And it's just amazing. I love this whole initiative that a nurse is getting a whole month's supply of these products. This is their Caring Skin Fix, which is especially for like severely dry areas. So I've been using this on my elbows and also my feet, which I love. It's unfragranced and it's just super nourishing. These are products that obviously nurses need badly, but you know, if we can buy them and gift some to a nurse at the same time, who doesn't want a piece of that action? And lastly, but not leastly in the non-makeup category, the two nail polishes I've been dying for this month, both OPI, of course. The first one is Have Your Panettone and Eat It Too, which I'm wearing today, and I've actually whacked a bit of the Barry M mattifying top coat on here because I think this looks so nice matte. I just love it. I mean, it's literally autumn in a nail varnish, this one. It looks like a pumpkin, so there's that. The other one I've been loving is this Falling For Milan. I talked about this, I think, in a haul. It's just glorious. It's the most beautiful, just nude, but it has a hint of like gold shimmer in there that is very, very subtle and it just looks like shine on the nail. It's just so beautiful. And again, there's something very autumnal about this. I think it's because it's like the colour of like leaves starting to turn. Those have been like the only two nail polishes I've worn this whole month, and I love them both dearly. So now for the makeup. So foundation of the month for me has been the Tom Ford Soft Matte, Traceless Soft Matte, in fact, and it is exactly that. Now I know lots of you are like, which one do you prefer, Shade and Illuminate or Soft Matte? I love them both. You know me, Shade and Illuminate is more my jam as far as the finish. It's much glowier than this, but this one, it's not a soft matte. Let me just stop you there. To me, this is more of a satin finish or a radiant matte, if you will. I think they called it a modern matte, you know, whatever. But to me, it's not matte. So if you want a matte foundation, I don't think this is going to be it. You may even be disappointed. For me, I was really, really happy and stoked because, you know, I don't love a matte finish. This does all the things I love about matte foundations, as in it's super smooth, it wears insanely well, and it's very flattering in photos, evenings, on camera, etc. So those things I love about it, but it doesn't look flat matte and dead on the skin. I always think whenever I review or wear a matte foundation on camera, people are like, oh, it's the best ever, because it does look better on camera because you've got lots of lights which exaggerate, you know, shine. So you look crazy shiny when you've got a glowy foundation on camera, but in reality, it's not that much. This one, it's just stunning. It wears, like I said, insane. So after I did my review and I wore this for like nearly 9 hours, I went to the gym and I did a cardio session, and no joke, sweat was pouring down my face. Like there was rivers of sweat just running down my face. I'm sorry for the visual, but you have to know the tea. And I thought, oh, blimey. I just let it dry. You know, I didn't wipe it off. I didn't dab. I just like let it dry and cool down afterwards. Went upstairs, like this is hours later. We're probably talking like over 12 hours at this point, and including that gym session, that sweat sesh. I went upstairs. I'd also worn a mask at some point during the day. It looked immaculate. No joke. The rivers were gone. It looked slightly glowier. It looked a little glowier, which I wasn't complaining about. Otherwise, you'd never have known. It was amazing. Very impressed. I wore this when I went out for dinner with my girlfriends because I knew there'd be flash photos. I knew it would wear all day long. I had to go to my children's gymnastics class, so I had a mask on for like an hour or so, and I went straight out for dinner, and you would never have known. It wears amazingly well. I like the Shade and Illuminate edges it for me because of the extra glow, but this is definitely one I'll keep in my collection. It's probably my favourite more matte foundation of all time. It's beautiful. Next up, let's talk briefly about the Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Foundation Hydration and Longwear. Whew. I wouldn't say this is a favourite, but I need to just round up my thoughts on it. It's also not a fail for me. It's somewhere in the middle. When it first goes on, this is it today. I've just been doing a recap video and it looks glorious. This is like an hour of wear. It looks beautiful. I love it. I love the shade. I love the finish. I like the coverage, etc. The fragrance in here is so much, it actually overwhelms me. Like it's unpleasant to apply. It's so strong. And it just doesn't wear well on me. It only wears well for like 5 hours. I'm going for lunch with my husband today and it will make it to lunch, and then it will start to look very, very shiny, greasy. And then it will also disappear off my chin and nose. And that's with it being set. It is set right now, even though it doesn't look it, because it is just super, super, super shiny. I think if you've got drier skin, you will like this more than me, and it will probably wear better than it does on me because I'm normal, leaning oily in the T-zone, so it'll probably do better on drier skins. I like it, but I don't love it. That's the summary. Something I do love, the Hourglass Sculpture Ambient Lighting Edit palette. I love this palette. I'm so pleased with it. I love everything in here, especially the bronzer and highlight. I said it in my recap video. I would purchase both. That's not the highlight. The highlight's there. Come on. Bronzer and the highlight I would purchase as singles tomorrow. If they brought those out, this is the highlight and bronzer I've got on today. It's everything. I'm obsessed with both of these products. They're stunning. I like the finishing powders. I liked them previously when I tried them. I know some people were disappointed that they're existing shades or whatever, but for me they work, so I I'm not complaining. And I like both these blushes. In winter, this one will show more on me. I have to use a lot of it. I know people think I was saying it doesn't show up. I can get it to show up, but I have to use a lot of it and go in very heavily to get it to show up on me currently. But in winter, that won't be an issue. It will show up more on me for sure. This shade is obviously right up my street. I've got a whole review on this if you want to see the whole palette in action, but I just absolutely love it. I've even considered purchasing a backup or a second palette because that's how much I love it. And these obviously are like smaller pans. The bronzer is already fairly flat. I'm nervous because I have to use a lot of this, to be fair, to get it to bronze me. So it's going to go quickly, but I really am going to get so much use out of this, which I didn't expect, because generally I reach for these palettes more so when I'm traveling or, you know, I'm trying to condense as many products into my makeup bag as possible. But I'm just reaching for this all the time. I love it. I think it's definitely my favorite. I've only purchased this one and the Unlocked before. It's definitely my favorite. I love it. And I'll use every shade in there, which is the mark of a good palette. And I could say the same thing for the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Again, what I'm wearing on my eyes today, I use and love every shade in here. There's not a shade in here that I won't use regularly. I love it. It's my go-to like evening palette now. I do feel, I know people disagree and that's personal preference, but I do feel for me, this is more nighttime than daytime. I tend to go warmer tones in the daytime. This is like perfection for winter, nights out, evenings, date nights, etc. When I'm feeling just a bit more glam than usual. This is like it for me. These cooler neutral tones, I love it. I'm just so not disappointed. I'm using it a lot and I think it's fantastic. One product that I have not even mentioned one time on my channel that I picked up this month is the Tom Ford blush in the shade Flush. A little poem for you there. Now, this looks exceedingly pink when you look at it in the pan, okay? Kind of almost matches my top, which is fantastic. Definitely did that on purpose. Now, I picked this up from the Estee Lauder cosmetics discount store that I went to, and it was like half the price. I think this is something like £24, which is a lot less than they usually cost. I think they're usually like 45. So it was a bargain. When I saw it, I thought, yes, I want to try a Tom Ford blush, and I love this one. It looks so intimidating in the pan. Like, for one, it looks so pink and bright that it's terrifying. But on the cheeks, that's a pretty heavy swatch, but it just blends out beautifully, and I just will touch my blush brush in there and then build up from there. I could use this when I'm lighter in winter, absolutely, and I can use it now. It will work for lots of skin tones, and it's just the most beautiful sort of satin luminous finish. There's no glitter or shimmer, but it's also not matte. It's just the most beautiful natural luminous finish, and the shade is just to die for. I love the formula. I love the packaging. Of course, it's Tom Ford. It's beautiful, and I love that I paid like half price for it. I love that. I know lots of people are going to want me to tell you exactly the name of the location and shop that I got that blush from, and I'm really sorry, but I've had to stop talking about anywhere that I go or mentioning any places that I go, and I'm really sorry for that, but that's just the reality of being on YouTube, that I don't feel comfortable anymore. I've had some very strange experiences, as you can imagine, and I just really don't want to talk about any kind of location where I live, where I go on my days out, certainly what places I might go with my family anymore, because it's just alarming what you see and hear. So I'm really sorry for that, but it is the cosmetics company. They have them dotted all over the UK, and you know, every shop has different stuff anyway, and every time you go there they have different stuff. So I will link like the company down below, but from now on I can't talk about specific places that I go, unfortunately. Next up, a mascara that I have just been loving to death for a while now, but I didn't include it in last month's favourites because it just felt too soon, but we are now in a fully committed relationship, and it is the Charlotte Tilbury Push Up Lashes. I do like to give mascaras a little longer before I commit to loving them, because lots of mascaras, you know, they pass their best very quickly, and that's a really important part of mascara as far as saying how you feel about it to me, because if it's amazing but it only works well for a couple of weeks before you need a new one, before it stops performing at its best, it's less valuable, isn't it? Less value for money. This one I've had, what is it, 6 weeks? 5 weeks. 5 weeks I've had this. I've been using it non-stop since I got it, and it's still as amazing as the first time I used it. So it is really cemented as like holy grail status. I absolutely love this mascara. As you'll know if you watch my review, I love the packaging. I love the wand. I love the fact that I can use it on top and bottom lashes with ease. I love that it gives me that cat eye look. It gets every lash. It combs through beautifully, so no clumps. It lifts. It gives me volume but not in a clumpy way, and it gives me the length that I love, and it is super black. I love everything about it, as you can tell. You can tell that. I know. And now for the standard parade of 500 lip products, starting with the one I've got on, which is Chanel's Duo Ultra Tenue gloss. So this is a liquid lipstick. This is what I've got on right now, and it is the one that comes with the liquid lipstick and then the gloss that is just a clear gloss that goes over the top. As you can see, it gives you like a glossy lip. So this is the gloss that goes over the top. If you want to see me use this, I used it in my revisiting video that has just gone up, so you can see me apply it. It's like the weirdest product. It goes on as a matte liquid lipstick with this side, which gives you the colour, and it gives you that opaque, smooth, perfect lip line, and then it gets tacky. You leave it a couple of minutes and then you go over the top with the gloss, and it's just weird because it gives you a glossy lip, but it's like wears like a liquid lipstick, but it's so comfortable and it wears for hours. It's not going to stay on like a dry down liquid lipstick. I do find if I eat a meal and have a couple of drinks, there's some fading there, but I mean, you really can't complain. I wish there was more shades, like more nude options, but I absolutely love this. This is the shade Intense Caramel. I have it on right now, and I really want to buy more, but I'm just kind of struggling to find a shade that I want. Maybe light brown might be my next one. I want something a little more intense and beigey, but I think Timeless Beige is going to be too light for me. So that's what I'm looking for, but I love the formula. I want more of them. I did a back to MAC this month. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's when you return 6 empties to MAC and they gift you a lipstick of your choice. And I picked up the classic Chili. A lot of you guys were asking me what I was wearing on my lips whenever I had this on in a photo. It's like a red, but not an intimidating red. It's a matte, but again, MAC's matte formula is lovely. Their bullet formula, very creamy and rich and kind of more of a satin matte, natural matte, that kind of thing. It's just a kind of brownish red. I know everyone and his mum has been wearing this for years, but I've never owned it before. And I loved it so much that I immediately ran out and picked up a coordinating liner, because I do actually find this one kind of tricky to get perfect. This is Chiccory. How perfect is that? It is absolutely perfect. This combo, I've just been living for it, because it's so wearable day to night. It's long wearing, it's not intimidating, but it's a nice red that's not like frightening to wear out. And with that lip pencil, it's just, I love it so much. It's one of my favorite MAC lipsticks of all time. And speaking of MAC lipsticks, I picked up another shade of the Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Colour. That's how much I love this formula. And guess what? I picked up the shade Chili. So if you weren't sure how much I loved the colour and the Powder Kiss formula, I now have Chili in 2 formulas, and I have 2 shades of the Powder Kiss. So the first shade I had was Over the Taupe, just like the perfect easiest shade. It's a really weird formula, this one. It's like a mousse type of texture. It applies like a liquid lip that stays matte, but it doesn't dry completely down, and it's not completely transfer proof. So it's more comfortable and hydrating on the lips than like a classic liquid lip, but you still get that really nice long wearing, and you get that crisp, solid, opaque lip application. So this is Over the Taupe, and then this is Chili, which you can see is a little lighter than the Bullet chilly, but again, they're both beautiful. I love these formulas. This and then the Chanel are like my favourite liquid matte type of lipstick. They're obviously very different as far as formula and finish, but these are like the only liquid lipsticks really I ever want to put back on my lips, put it that way. And then last but not least for this lip, I don't know why I always end up with so many lipsticks every month, but this is Estee Lauder's Peerless. I talked about this again in, I think, my haul video, and this is just like my perfect everyday nude. I love the formula of these. They're really super glossy but super opaque. I love the like shape of the bullet. It's very easy to apply. They're so comfortable and nice feeling on the lips, and they just have beautiful shades. This is like my favorite go-to nude daytime lip of the month and maybe of the year. And last but not least, this is my lipstick holder. I haven't brought it down here because that would be horrendous. I'd have to empty the whole thing, but I will show you an image of it up here. This was from Amazon. It wasn't gifted, I purchased it myself, and it fits like every one of my lipsticks other than the liquid lipsticks that I just don't use anymore that are still in my drawer. But this fits pretty much every lipstick I have. Now, bear in mind, this is not a lipstick holder. This is a nail polish display. So it doesn't have like holes to slot your lipsticks in. So they are just stood there. So that's the only drawback. I could not find a lipstick holder that had enough space for all my lipsticks. And I wanted, my goal for my vanity was to have all of the lipsticks that I may ever use out so I can see them all, because otherwise a lot of them, they just don't get used. If they're in a drawer, you forget about them. I wanted to be able to see them all. I wanted that tiered layout so I could see everything that I've got and remember them all my children have an equal opportunity to be worn, and that is what I've achieved here. It holds, I don't even know, well, it's well over 100, put it that way. It's probably about between 110 120 that you can actually fit in there, and that's including some really large, like the Fenty liquid lipsticks. It holds those. It also holds like the glosses, the Fenty glosses, which are quite large, the Patrick Tar lipsticks that are quite large. So there was a lot of lipsticks when I bought my initial lipstick holders that had the slots that didn't fit in the slots, which was super annoying. Whereas this one, like obviously because it's just rose and you can put everything on there, it has edges so it'll hold everything in. It's not going to fall out, but it's not being held in. So sometimes they might like slip over, particularly the ones that are smaller, like those Charlotte Tilbury Superstar lips. Sometimes they like to, you know, lie down for a rest. But for me, this is as perfect as it gets because it holds every size of lipstick and it holds so many of them, and yet I can see them all. So I will link this product down below. I will say it does take a lot of like putting like screws in holes that was arduous. So just be prepared for that. It's fiddly, all right? That's my advice to you. But once you're there, so worth it. Like what dreams are made of. So there you have it. That is my summary of the month of September, my favourite products, things I've been loving, things I've been enjoying. As always, please let me know what you've been loving in the month of September. I would love to see you in the next video. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.